Hey everybody, Marc Victor here. Look, I wanted to cut this video just to say a few things post-election. First off, I want to congratulate Mark Kelly for winning the election. He's not who I supported. Everybody knows I stepped down and endorsed Blake Masters, but Mark Kelly won. And so I want to wish him well. I hope he does a good job in the United States Senate. He's representing the people of Arizona. We have some common ground. He says he wants to secure the border, and I certainly hope he can accomplish that. Also, I don't know much about his position on civil liberties, but I expect that we probably have some common ground there as well. So I want to wish him well. I hope he can accomplish the things that we have in common on those points. Next, I want to make a point about the election. Here we are again in Arizona with another controversy about voting machines. I want to caution people to just relax here. Let's get the facts first. We don't really know what's going on. We may just have some malfunctions here with the machines. Maybe every vote is being counted just fine. We may have mere negligence. We may also have intentional bad conduct. We just don't know. So before everybody gets excited about what's going on, let's get to the bottom of what actually happened here. Look, we're all in favor of a fair and open election. We all want to have the votes counted, but mistakes are bound to happen. Let's not jump to the worst possible conclusions. Let's get the facts first, and then let's make some decisions about those facts. And let's obviously try to change things so in the future we don't have these problems. I also want to thank Blake Masters for running. I've gotten an opportunity to talk to Blake Masters since our initial discussion that everybody can see by simply going to liveandletliverevolution.com and checking out the roughly 20-minute conversation that I had with Blake Masters that changed my mind and caused me to step down and endorse Blake. But since then, I've had an opportunity to talk to Blake Masters, and I gotta say, I've been very impressed with him. I want to thank him for running. It's not an easy thing to do to run for office. You take a lot of criticism, there's a lot of angry emails, things are taken out of context. I think Blake's a good man, and I appreciate the fact that he was running for office, and I think he did his best, and that's what we expect of people who care about their country. I also think we started a genuine friendship, and I look forward to building that friendship. I don't know what his plans are in the future, but hopefully we can build on our friendship and work together in the direction of freedom, peace, and civility. I also want to say something very briefly about my personal experience about running for office in this election. As I said already, it's difficult to run for office. I understand why people of good character don't want to run for office. You get lots of angry emails from people on all sides of every issue. There's no possible way to make people happy here. This is why good people don't want to run for office. And I just want to make a point here about let's relax a little bit. We don't have to fly off the handle and assume the absolute worst about everything everybody says. Let's step back a little bit. People say things sometimes inartfully. Things are taken out of context. Let's make it easier for good people to run for office in the future. You know, another point here, I think a lot of people expected a red wave, if you will. And I think we didn't get that. And I think one of the reasons we didn't get that is because I think the Republicans could have brought it more civilized. That's right. We got to bring our message in a more civilized way. Let's not call other people names. If we're going to disagree, let's disagree in a way that's agreeable, right? Let's set a new standard of civility in politics. We got to lead here. Let's not call people names and assume the worst about other people. Other people have different ideas about how the world should work. That's fine. Let's set a new standard. That's right. I'm challenging you and everybody, and especially people who are going to run for office. Lead. Lead in a civilized way. Be a responsible adult here. Remember, Most of the people who are getting into this are getting into it for the right reasons. We got different ideas about how the law should be calibrated and how we should interact with each other. But I think most people are getting into politics because they want to help improve the world. We may disagree with their means, their method, where they're trying to get to. That's fine. But let's at least treat each other with dignity. We're all on the planet for a very short time. Keep that in mind. Think about how you act during that short period of time while you're lucky enough to be alive and on the planet. My personal experience includes all kinds of issues. I had libertarians who didn't like what I was saying or doing and flew off the handle and took things out of context without even bothering to contact me first and say, hey, Mark, what did you mean by this, what you said? What was your intention? What were you trying to accomplish? What was your strategy here? And again, I'm issuing a little bit of caution, especially if we're on the same team and we're trying to move in the direction of freedom and peace and civility. Minimally, let's give each other the benefit of the doubt. But even better, if somebody says something that you don't like or you're not sure about, let's give them the courtesy of an opportunity to respond to that before we just say disparaging things about them. I had libertarians who were very upset with me because I stepped down. I had libertarians who were very happy with me because I stepped down. I had Republicans who were very angry because I was running in the first place. And then I had Republicans who were very happy that I stepped down. I had Democrats who were happy and upset with me as well. And you know what? The two-party system, people complain about the two-party system with good reason. But then when somebody stands up to run as a third party to try to shake up the two-party system, we vilify the person for splitting the vote or siphoning votes off of one party or the other. Again, I think we should be more tolerant of people if they're actually trying to move us in the direction of freedom and peace and civility. It would be great if we could get ranked choice voting here in Arizona, so people could actually vote for the person who they like the best on the first ballot. And if that person doesn't get elected, then their second choice is up for their vote in that second round. This makes a lot more sense than what we have now. I think we should give a little thought to how we could change elections here to encourage people who maybe are bringing something different than the traditional two-party system to the table to actually have maybe a better chance of winning. Because I gotta say, the biggest category of emails that I received from people were emails that said things like, hey, Mark, we love you. We love what you said in the debate. We think you're the best person for the job. But because you're running in a third party, you can't win. And therefore, I'm going to vote for the lesser of two evils. Again, let's just give some thought to changing what we're doing here. That's really a bad position, I think, for not just democracy, but also for freedom and for our country generally. So let's give a little thought to changing how we do business in this area. A lot of people have asked me about my political future. I have lots of options here. I could simply say, well, I gave it a good effort, I'm done, and I'm ready to give up on trying to change things, at least through politics. Well, that's one option. Another option is I could run again as a libertarian in some future race. Another option is I could change my party affiliation, maybe to Republican, and run as a Republican. And of course, I would make the point that it doesn't matter what party I'm affiliated with. I'm not going to change my positions on anything unless, of course, I'm convinced to do something different. So for now, let me just address people who are inquiring about what I may do in the future to say, I haven't decided yet. Feel free to email me and give me your thoughts on what, if anything, I should do in this area in the future. But one thing I can say with absolute certainty, if you like some of the points that I made in the debate or some of the things that I said during the campaign, and if you're actually for freedom and peace and civility, you can help. Go to liveandletlive.org. That's the home of the Live and Let Live global peace movement. And if you agree with the two rules there, rule number 1, don't be an aggressor, our legal principle, And rule number 2, be a good human. The moral principle, that's the optional rule, right? If you agree with those 2 rules, check the box and say, yeah, I'm in. I'm a live and let liver. I support the global peace movement. It's free. It's not a big deal. And then blast it out. Tell everybody you know on your social media, in your influence of social media. Tell them there's this new global peace movement that's seeking to unite the reasonable people of the world. This is a global project. And as I've said on many occasions, it's bigger than this election. Yeah, bigger than this election. We got really serious problems coming to face us as a species, right? To name a few, we've got artificial intelligence that's coming. This is going to happen. We have synthetic biology. There are people with bad ideas right now who are working on engineering very bad things like pandemics. Also, there are nuclear weapons that are not just out there, but technology will make it easier and easier to build a nuke. And if anybody who wants a nuke could have a nuke, this is going to be very bad news for the future of the human race. That's why this is bigger than any one election. We got to get the reasonable people of the world to come together and coalesce around a principle that we call live and let live. So if this message resonates with you, join the movement, blast it out. You may want to get more involved than that. You can make a tax-deductible donation to the Live and Let Live Foundation. You could start a chapter. You could get more involved. You could get on a committee. Do something to be part of the solution. Don't just complain about the problems. This involves you and everybody you know. We're all in this together. We got one planet to live on. We have no other options. We got to take care of the planet. We got to take care of each other. We got to clean our house up in terms of how we relate to each other. All right, so there's my pitch minimally. Just join the Live and Let Live Global Peace Movement. Do it for the right reasons. Do it because you really want to be part of the solution. All right, I'm easy to reach. You can always get a hold of me through my law firm website. We're the Attorneys for Freedom. And my email is Marc, M-A-R-C, @attorneysforfreedom.com. Happy to hear from you, whether you agree or disagree. If you bring it in a civilized way, you will get a response from me. All right, thanks for listening. Peace.